welcome to my channel and welcome to this new video, a video different from the others that I've been doing. And today I'm going to talk about dry firing. Dry firing, as you all know, and in my opinion, is probably one of the most important trainings a competitive shooter can do. If you want to be really competitive, if you want to be on the top of your game, you really need to be dry firing as much as you can, especially for beginners and for new shooters. Most people don't have the amount of time that we all would like to go to the range to make live fire, nor the amount of money that we need to buy all the ammo and all the equipment we need to be live firing every day or as much as we want to. So we have to reach for our other resources, and dry firing is it. It doesn't matter if you're using just your gun or also other training equipment like lasers, like laser targets, whatever. You need to be dry firing. If you really want to perfect your techniques, and you really want to be proficient on your techniques on the range, and if you want to make, for example, a reload without thinking about doing how to do it, you need to be getting all that information into your muscle memory and training as much as you can at home, so you can do the better in the range. Okay, and I understand that especially for new shooters, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming on what to train. Okay, I have to do dry fire, but what should I do when I'm home training? What exercises? What techniques should I train? So that's why I'm doing this video, just to give you some hints, some tips on how to train at home, especially for the new shooters, but also for most advanced shooters. So like I said, for new shooters, it is essential. So what should you be training? I'm going to give you my example. I've been probably dry firing for years because before I was shooting shotguns and real firearms, I used to shoot air guns and airsoft guns, and I used to do a regular training almost as now, without even knowing that I will be doing this, because I already had that competition mentality, because I really wanted to be a competitor. So I started doing it very young. But normally, when a shooter starts, you need to focus on the basics. Okay, so what I recommend is, at the beginning, start doing basic exercises. Start doing the proper mount, proper grip, proper draw, reacting to the buzzard, getting the perfect mounting of the gun on the shoulder, because that will improve your recoil management on the range, but also will make the gun in the sight picture perfect every time. Every time you mount, and you need to be fast when mounting the gun. If you have a perfect sight picture, if you have a perfect mount, you have a good sight picture, a perfect sight picture, and that will increase your speed, your accuracy, and the overall performance. First dry firing sessions, you need to be focused on the basis. Start with the proper mount, start with the proper grip, start with the structure. Okay, your positioning, your body positioning, and do some simple exercises. You put a target, or you just choose something on the wall that you can aim, and don't forget, always do it safely. Use a target or something on the wall, and you wait for the buzzard, and you react quickly to the buzzard and mount the gun as fast as you can. Okay, I will demonstrate some exercises like that. If you start doing this repeatedly, you will become much faster. And don't forget, on shotgun shooting, we don't focus on the sight itself, we focus more on the target. So try to have, and to start, when you are waiting for the buzzer on that wait period, you have a really clear focus on the target. Mark a point on the middle of the target, the smallest point you can mark with your eyes. Okay, mark a point on the middle of the target and focus on that point very hard. So when the buzzer starts, you'll put the proper mount, you'll train the proper mount of your gun, and you will see that the sights will go pretty much on top of that point that you are marking. So that is one of the exercises that I recommend for you to start doing. The first weeks, when you start dry firing, the first weeks should be focused on this Okay, so on the mounting, on the draw, the reaction to the buzzer. Then you can also do some target transition. Maybe on the first week I wouldn't focus so much on the reloading part, because reloading is one of the most important skills in shotgun shooting, yes. However, you need to be studying, you need to be learning first, okay? Because reloading, especially quad loading, I only recommend training quad loading. So when you are doing quad loads, you need to be doing it properly. Otherwise, you'll create some bad habits, and it will affect your performance in the future. So what I recommend is the first week focus on the most basic skills: proper grip, acquiring sights or acquiring the target. I will call it acquiring the target. Always also focus on target transitions. Okay, don't forget, you should be maybe 2 or 3 targets. You should be going fast on the transition, on the 90% of the movement, going fast, but then the last 10% of the movement you should be slowing down, and the gun should be crossing the target. When it crosses the target, you simulate the trigger press, okay, or simulate the shot, and then you move right after to the next target. It's like the gun is in continuous movement. It only slows down. So like this, okay? You should be transitioning like this, and not stopping on the target and properly aiming, unless you have some no-shoot targets on the range, and you are training some no-shoots. Then you can aim a little bit more. But for the most part, you should be doing like this, okay? Another thing that I can recommend for dry firing is using some sound or something that can replicate the shot. I mean, something that you can know that you have made the shot. For example, I use a small sound like this, something like this, that I can know that I actually pressed the trigger, that I actually made the shot, and then now I can transition to another target. This audible or visual, so tactile representation of the shot can improve your target transition, mostly because you know that you are transitioning to a target when you make a shot, and then you can make the relation between the shot and the start of the movement of the gun, or the start of your own movement of your body. Okay, you need to train this. This is also very important thing to train in the dry fire, is the relation between the shot and the next step, the next movement. It doesn't matter if it is the gun movement or your movement. You need to be as quickly as you can doing on this relation, as quickly as you can doing or start doing this movement. So you train this by creating some representation of the shot. Either it's audible, visual, or tactile representation of the shot. If you have lasers, that can also help. If you have laser targets that go down or that flash some green light or whatever, that also gives you a visual representation. But if you don't have any of that, you can use always a sound, like I said. So this is, in my opinion, very important, because it will improve your timings, it will improve your splits, it will improve your readiness to make the next move. Okay, if you train this in the beginning, you should be then start doing some reloads. Okay, now it's the time. For example, the first week, proper grip, proper mounting, and then also the target transitions, and the next week you start doing reloads. But on this first week, you should be start studying how to do the quad loads. Okay, search for information like the ones I do and other shooters. So search how to do a proper quad load. Okay, it can be overwhelming. Then when you are starting to study that quad load, you should be dividing the movement into parts that you can easily understand and that you can easily identify to improve in the future. This, in my opinion, that's my learning method that I use, and that's what I think that can benefit me now. Something that I did in the past, in the beginning, that is benefiting me now, which is dividing the movement. I know specifically when I'm watching my videos, I know what I need to improve, because I know that this first segment of the movement I'm being slower, so I need to improve that segment. This is a recommendation that I do because I really think it's important, and I really think that you can do it in other skills too, not just reloading, but on the movement, on the target transition. And when you start to understand more of it, more of this sport, you can identify better these segments and identify where you need to improve. In the future, when you are 4, 5, 6, 7 years into this sport, whatever, you will easily or easier to identify the points or the segments that you need to improve in order to be fast. First week, mounting and target transition. Second week start with the reloads. On the first week, we also start to study some reloads. Then you start to applying that technique on the second week. Okay. After this second week, you start mixing it up. You start mixing the mounting with the reloads and target transition. Do it all in one. Do it all in one movement. Okay. Do it all in one session. Then, after a few weeks, give the quad loads and the reloads some more weeks, because it is quite difficult to learn. So, or not quite difficult, but you need to be quite resilient and insist on the technique, because it will be exhausting and it will be a little bit difficult if you are not willing to do it. Okay, so give it a little bit more weeks, start mixing it up, then you can start training some movements. Okay, movements, you need some space, that's true, but even if you don't have much space at home, try to do it on the range. Before you start shooting, if you can, do some dry fire with movement. Okay, with movement, with target transition, before you start shooting. That will also improve your techniques. Okay, start doing some lateral movements. Start reloading on the movement. That's also a further step. Start reloading on the movement. Reloading, going to the front, going backwards, and going sideways. This is, in my opinion, the sequence or the logic that you need to be training. Then, if you can, start also putting some shooting on the move at home, of course, without the live fire, but start to apply the technique. And here, lasers and the target lasers are very, very beneficial, because you can actually see where you're aiming, other than your sight picture. However, it is important that you don't just rely on the laser. Rely also on your sight picture. You need to know how your barrel is in comparison with your target. Okay, you need to know if you are, of course, you don't aim with the sights properly. You have a focus on the target, but you need to be aware where the muzzle, your fiber optic sight is in comparison to the target. Okay, new shooters, this is a sequence. Improve your basic techniques first, then start reloading on the move. That is also very important, because most of the time in matches you are not going to be reloading standing. You should always avoid reload standing. You should always be reloading on the move when you are already wasting time because you have to move. So take that time and also reload. Okay. After all of this, you can, with more time, maybe you're already into half a year or more into this sport of proper dry firing. You can now start learning some specific techniques, I would say. Just like, for example, shooting on the weak shoulder, or mounting the gun on the weak shoulder, which is not very common, but it can happen. Grabbing your gun from a table, grabbing your gun from a stand, whatever. Start doing some specifics. Okay. This is the learning curve that you need to have. This is the learning process that you need to have, in my opinion. After this, and for more experienced shooters, you need to be dry firing. Like I said, you need to be dry firing pretty much every day. And for that, I recommend you don't need to have like a schedule. You need to train pretty much what I've said every day. You need to make videos. You need to make videos and you need to analyze those videos, not just for social media. You need to analyze them. Okay, that's one of the best tools that the shooter have now is videos. So look for videos from other shooters that you consider that are better than you, or that you want to learn their technique. and try to analyze your videos and to compare with that technique to see if you are going in a very different way or you are doing the same. Okay, you don't need to exactly do the same, but you need to, because sometimes we need to adapt the technique to our body, to our own technique, but we need to have some metrics, and that is a way to do it. So when you are analyzing, you see that you are being slower on a specific part of the movement. You want to improve. Now you decide, okay, now it's time to improve the reloads. Okay, where can I improve? I will analyze my videos and see, okay, I should be probably doing this a little bit faster, this segment of the movement. I should be probably doing this one a little bit faster. Then start to applying pressure, let's say, on that segment of the movement. Okay, I will now post also some videos for you to see, but this is my recommendation. And I know that dry firing might be boring for some. It might sound boring, however, it doesn't need to be. And dry firing is, if you mix it up and if you make stages, this is what I like to do. I like to make a dry fire session like it was a stage. Sometimes I focus more on bases, on specifics, on reloading only. For example, yesterday my dry fire was probably most of it just standing reloads to improve the technique, not to improve the reloading on the move, but to improve the technique. Okay, to be faster on the technique. Most of my dry fire sessions I do like it was real stages. I set up some targets, or I define some points on the walls or whatever, and I'll do a sequence, okay, and then I'll mix it up. I'll do the sequence in backwards, and I'll be doing this in a very different way every time. This way it is not boring, and it keeps me I wouldn't say motivated, because this isn't properly, I don't need properly motivation to do this, because I actually enjoy it. I actually like dry firing. So, but for those that don't like it, try to mix it up. Try to make it like a real live fire. If you can make it as close to a live fire without a live fire, it will be much more. You will have more pleasure doing this. Okay, it will be much more pleasant to do dry fire. I hope you enjoyed this video and these tips. And I hope you now start doing, if you're not doing it, I hope you start doing dry fire more frequently, and this will, I'll 100% guarantee, improve your skills, improve your performance, and you'll start to enjoy doing this. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you like this type of content and the content that I do, so subscribe and stay tuned for the next one.